Okay, you have the NFL Week 1 prediction. So NFL season's finally here. So let's get predicting. So your first game versus the Texans versus the Colts. Colts brought in Matt Ryan. They still have Jonathan Taylor, same coach, and a very solid defense. While the Texans, they brought in a new head coach and they brought in a bunch of new veteran players, and they're clearly rebuilding right now. I was this divisional game, so potential upset, but I'm gonna take the Colts. Then you have a Week 2 game versus the. Then you have Bengals versus Steelers. Bengals, their Super Bowl AFC Championship, and Steelers, they did improve slightly on the offensive line and have a good but not great defense. But Mitchell Trubisky, I'm not sure how he'll do. And Bengals, they improved their line and they still have all their weapons. I'm going to take the Bengals. Then you have a game versus the Jets. Jets may be starting Joe Flacco. I don't know yet. But they did improve, but it's their first game. They have a bunch of new free agents, new um, draft picks coming, and the Ravens, they're getting a bunch of people back from injury, and I think Ravens have a better team, and I think the defense can definitely cause problems, so I'm gonna take the Ravens. Then you have Dolphins versus the Patriots. Ooh, this one's gonna be a this. I think this one is either team's gonna win. Both teams have a lot of concerns. The Patriots, the offensive coaching does not look good. Their offense in general doesn't look good in so far, and Patriots defense, they lost a bunch of linebackers. And the Dolphins, they did bring in new people like Tyreek Hill and Terran Armstead, but Josh Boyers taking over the defense play calling, and Mike McDaniel's the first-time head coach. I think this one's going to be very close, and I'm going to take the Dolphins because of their more talented team. Then you have a game Chargers versus the Raiders. Another two very good teams. Again, Chargers, they still have Herbert. They brought in J.C. Jackson, Khalil Mack, while Raiders brought in Devontae Adams. Both talent-wise, I think they're both pretty similar, but I'm going to take the Chargers because I think Justin Herbert's better than Carr. Take him. And you have the first game of the season, the Rams versus the Bills. Bills are definitely Super Bowl contenders, and the Rams are the Super Bowl defending champs. This one's an even game. It's just whoever you want to win. I'm going to just take the Rams. Okay, then you have the Commanders versus the Jaguars. Jaguars, they brought in a bunch of new pieces. They did good Trayvon Walker, brought in a lot of free agents, but they're going to take some time to get together. It's the first game with Doug Peterson. I'm not sure how well that will do. While the football Commanders, they're getting a bunch of people back from injuries, and I don't know. It's a close game. I'm gonna take it to the Commanders because of a more experienced team. Then you have the Panthers versus the Browns. The Browns are starting Jacoby Brissett, and that's a big change. And Browns, even with a good offensive line, I'm not sure how well they'll do. And the Panthers, they're on the best team. They do have Baker Mayfield, so his revenge game. And there's Christian McCaffrey, and they have a solid defense. And I'm going to just take the Panthers because of Jacoby Brissett. I'm not sure how well he'll do. Then you have a Cardinals versus the Chiefs, another potential upset, as the Cardinals do have home field advantage. And the Chiefs, they did lose Tyreek Hill. I'm not sure how well they'll do without him, but they still have Andy Reid, and they brought in MDS and Juju, and they improved their defense, while the Cardinals really didn't do much to improve their team at all. I'm going to take the Chiefs. Then you have Titans versus the Giants. Titans, they just lost, what was it, Harold Landry, their pass rusher. But against a team like the Giants, it's not that great, clearly rebuilding right now. I'm going to still take the Titans. Then you have a Monday Nighter. Seattle versus Broncos. It's going to be Russell Wilson's revenge game. And Seattle's just rebuilding. They lost a bunch of pieces. While Broncos are just a way more talented team, so I'm going to take them. You have a Bears versus the Niners. Bears, like I said, another rebuilding team. I don't think Justin Fields will do well against the terrible Bears offensive line, and Bears defense just isn't that good, especially against the 49ers. Even though they're starting Trey Lance, they still have a very good team with a very good defensive line, good offensive line, good run game, and I'm going to take the Niners. Then you have the Lions versus Eagles, another potential upset game. Eagles, they improved their roster in every way possible, brought in a bunch of good people, traded for a lot of them. Lions, they also improved mainly during the draft, but a bunch of new draft pick, and I think they're going to take a little while to get together to make an impact, so I'm going to take the Eagles. You have the Falcons versus the Saints. Another potential upset, and I'll tell you why. The Saints are starting Dennis Allen, and I'm not sure how well he'll do. Luckily, Alvin Kamara isn't suspended, and they still have Michael Thomas coming back. And the Falcons are starting Marcus Mariota, and their defense is terrible. So I think this divisional game could be an upset. But Falcons, they just aren't talented. I'm going to take the Saints. Okay, then you have the Vikings versus the Packers divisional game. I think it's another upset. I think they do have a new head coach, but it's still Justin Jefferson. I'm feeling Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, and defense is good. And the Packers, they lost Devontae Adams, didn't really replace him, but they have a top 5 defense. I think this is going to be a defensive game, and I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take the Vikings. Then you have another game, Cowboys versus the Bucks. Last year they were really close, and neither team improved. Bucks, their offensive line is bad right now, but they have a good defense and good wide receivers. While the Cowboys, they lost Amari Cooper, but they still have CD and a good offensive line, and their defense should be better or should be just as good. And this one's gonna be close, and I'm gonna pick the upside. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys. Okay, so these are my NFL Week 1 predictions.